Okay, and then
A
also,
lot of us can relate.
Yeah, and, so they're just.
Alrighty, gang, good morning, good morning. We're late. You got your, very healthy, right? I think, right? That was, everybody here, okay? The whole gang's here? Is that, we got a Panos sighting again, I like Panos. We have a Panos sighting, that happens every now and then, you know, that's a good thing, you know, okay, right? A lot of stuff to talk about as always, and I think there's a Webster girl in the back too, we don't see her a lot, but there she is. Anyone know who Kelly is? Honestly? No? That's good, that's good. She likes to go undercover, she's an undercover, big producer kind of gal.
You know, like all discreet and
Secret agent.
Exactly, none of that. Before we get to this guy, I remember when we used to have you in, like, it used to be really crowded. Because, you know, it's like, how many times can you see the Eagles or your favorite band, right? We've seen like 1,000,000 times here. But we still have a pretty good show, so you still can draw them in, big fella. All right, gang, some numbers real quick. I don't know what to say. It's kind of repetition over and over again. Yesterday when I ran this, we had exactly 11,000 homes in ER stats. Who knew? I don't know.
11,000 plus new builds or
You're
11,000?
killing me. How many meetings have you come to? How many times have you
You
been?
gotta tell me 10 times.
That's everything in ER stats.
Okay.
Are there some new builds in there? I'm sure there are.
Okay.
I'm sure there are. But
Is
that's
that
what-
638, like,
Okay.
month to date?
Yes,
860.
yes, yes. You think it's a slow month for closings?
But was it not over 11,000 at the last meeting?
Okay, yeah, it could have been 11,007, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I just trying to be positive,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
And so it went down 0.0001% from 1115 to 11,000. But to your point, Nora, last October, something to look at, we sold, let's call it 2,000 single-family homes. Last
Same month
October.
to date.
Last October. So this October, yeah, it's a little bit less. So we'll see. Time will tell, time will tell. This is going up. It seems like each week by a day or two. You know, anyone have listings on the market for a while? Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah, a lot of you come to me and Wendy, Tim, what can I do to, you know, what do you have any ideas? We really don't have any ideas.
You don't want us
I don't know why. I mean, there's no magic formula here, you know?
Seller won't reduce the price.
Yeah, you know, take it off, wait a day or two, put it back on, mix up the pictures, you know, change the wording in each remark, and you'll you know, outwit somebody that it's a brand new listing when it's not. But there's no secret formula, you know. Usually it doesn't sell because of price. Yeah, but your seller doesn't want to hear that, right? They don't believe it, so. it is what it is.
Real quick.
Yes.
So what you should be doing is showing them the stats and like how often we reduce, how many are selling, all of that kind of stuff when you're doing the listing presentation. So then that way, when you put it on the market and after a few weeks it hasn't moved or anything, then you can say, remember how I told you there's this many on the market and this is how many are not moving and selling and how many days on market, let's consider reducing the price. But if you don't prep them at the very beginning, they're wanting to hold tight at their price, Terry, which is what I think you're experiencing maybe. So.
Yeah, especially if you're putting a house on the market now and you've been talking to the seller for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Okay? Me and Wendy might be taking a listing of a friend of mine, big shot at Virgin Hotels, got laid off, making big bucks. And he has a beautiful home in Southern Highlands that on Zillow in February was 580. Today on Zillow it's 518. I'm not saying we go by Zillow, but even in our MLS it's dropped dramatically.
And then they're still sitting.
He ain't gonna wanna hear that when we go talk to him. Tim, this is bullshit. Tim, what are you talking about? You know, this is not right. But again, it's the data. It's not your opinion. It's what MLS and what the market is saying, what the market is thinking. So keep that in mind. What else we got? This good-looking guy will be here next week. You all should come. Get here early to get a seat. I don't think it's gonna be recorded, but we might do it on Facebook Live. Alex is our legal counsel here in California. So whenever you guys get sued, Alex is the guy we run to, besides the local attorneys, but ultimately it goes to Alex. But this TCPA is coming back. Companies have been fined, not us that I'm aware of, about do not call lists, or any of you using a, I don't want to say robo-dialer, but you know what I mean, a service that dials 5 numbers at once, totally legal, but you could get in trouble if the list is incorrect, or or Red X or Vulcan says, don't worry about it, Mike, these are all covered, you're good. And then there's a name on there that shouldn't be, you're gonna get in trouble, you're gonna get fined. So I think this is cropping up more and more. So Alex is actually gonna come to town to talk about it, instead of sending out a memo or doing a Zoom call. He wants to actually come in, answer any questions they have. He'll be here for an hour or so, and then he's gonna run to the Southwest to do their office for Green Valley and Southwest, us in Northwest.
But Jim, some of those numbers that come to the, say we're getting, and it'll say spam likely, I've answered those before, and it is a client, and they don't know why they're coming up as spam. It's because they get a lot of them, I still answer them,
Yeah, yeah.
because you don't know.
I mean, if someone calls you back and says, how come you're calling me? I'm on the do not call. Let's just be nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, an error on my part, won't happen again. Don't fight them and, be a jerk about it when they do it. So they do wanna make a complaint against you, okay? Just go, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones. I don't know where your name was on the list. I thought it was, this list was washed or scrubbed by whoever you got it from. And then you should be okay. Just be careful.
That's why we don't cold call.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
My thoughts.
and some of the stuff that Alice is gonna give you, according to this act, you're supposed to have written permission from a client to even text them. How crazy is that? Or an older client that you sold the house to 5 years ago, you're supposed to have something in writing to allow you to email them. I mean, that's a little much, but that's how parts of this act read. So that's why he's gonna come in and talk about it. So it's kind of important stuff. We went through this the last couple weeks. These are the $1 Million Club or the top 25. Here's the top teams. Okay, there you are. They're here today, and they showed up. The panels. Way to go! Way to go! And then the teams here. And the Cowboys here somewhere. He's here. The $1 Million Club again. Anybody here in the office that I see? No. No, Carrie was last one.
I wanted
Since no one on the list is here, we'll go right past that, move on. Okay, and there's Lauren, and Lauren's here. No, Lauren again. There's Diana. That's the third, yeah. Way to go, Diana. Next week, me and Wendy and John are gonna go over the CRM in detail. So if you're not using our CRM or a CRM, please come, okay? You have to use one. I mean, in this day and age, you have no choice. You really have to have one. Finally, we got the staging company to come in. Utopia, they're gonna come in and talk about staging, okay, not for everybody, but it does work for certain clientele. No sales meeting on the 6th because of the summit, and then we're gonna do a business planning one on the 13th. We talked about this last week, this will be the last time I'll show it to you guys. These are the changes to the RPA, okay? This is the old, that's the new, okay? That's on page 1, and on page 5 is this. The closing fees. So that's what changed. That was the old, that's the new, okay? It's in transaction desk now. And if you look at the RPA, some of the stuff has moved around, like this is no longer at the top of the page. It's like in the middle of the page. So don't freak that, oh my God, it's the wrong form. You'll know you have the right form because you all are gonna check the bottom of the page, that it says 1025 REV, okay? For some reason, our MLS likes leaving inactive forms in there, and you click on an old form, and you think, you just type it up, and then a month later, Maria says, sorry, Steph, that's the old form, you gotta get a brand new one signed by your client. So just take a couple of seconds to make sure you're using the right form, 1025, okay? Pretty easy stuff. We all got this, right? Easy peasy? Okay. Who hasn't signed up for this yet and wants to go tomorrow? Anybody? Okay, I got some good news for you, or I have news for you, just in case you wanna go tomorrow. Where is it? Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, right.
You can't do it.
Yesterday.
Hold on. So, can't do it.
That was yesterday.
There was 40 yesterday.
There was, I put this up this morning. So, my recommendation, I always used to, when I was an agent, I'd show up anyway. And beg to get in, and usually you get in. Because not everybody shows up. I mean, there's, I think 500 seats, and 450 show up.
Yeah.
Usually. So if you didn't register and you get there a little bit early, you can probably get in.
And the
Okay.
CE class is
The
contracts.
CE doctor.
Is that what it is, contracts?
Yeah.
Who's teaching? Does anybody know who's teaching the class? No? Jimmy Day maybe, or Williams? Okay, so that's tomorrow. The reason I wanna go, besides the CE class, is, the speaker is Brian Gordon. And we all love Brian, right? If you like Steve Steve Thomas that was here last week with the PowerPoint slides, Brian's is even better. Because it's only about Vegas, and he has some really cool stuff, okay? So that's tomorrow. What else? Well, the summit is here. I'm glad to hear some of you are going, not a lot of you, but some of you are going. So it should be fun. That week, me, Jeff, and Mark will be out. So Wendy is running all of Las Vegas. She's the corporate broker in charge, okay? Yes, do it, you can do it. Okay.
Do it yet.
Is Mark here?
That's why you didn't.
Nobody serves.
Her-
So Jim, Gabby, and myself will be here. Jim and Gabby are in the Green Valley office, so if you need a broker approval on anything, Jim is the broker.
And
I'm
Tim,
not a broker, Gabby's not a broker.
we'll show up and say Tim Drew and Naomi, okay?
There you go.
Put them in the doorknob.
And if you don't, hit cool down the roof, right? Okay. One more thing, speaking of, not summit, but next month in November, Jeff Wallenfang, how do you pull this off? Is on vacation just about the whole month.
Nice.
Exactly.
Living his best life.
He's going to Australia or Fiji, or I don't know where he's going. Australia? Okay. So me and Wendy might disappear to the northwest every now and then to help them out. So just gotta keep that in mind, okay? So he
Not
will be
at the
there.
same time, so they'll
Yeah.
have coverage.
Hopefully anarchy will not reign in the northwest office while he's gone. I mean, you never know. But Katie and Mackenzie have a pretty good, leash on the agents. So, but that's the summit, Tony Robbins, that's the new Rev Up schedule. You guys have seen that if you're a new agent. Here's the cook-off, chili cook-off, Halloween party 2 weeks from today. Okay, so, make some chili, throw on a costume, and we'll have a hoopty. We're gonna have surprises, first, second, and third place, the surprise for the best chili, all that kind of good stuff. It's usually a lot of fun. The 25th is the Thanksgiving pumpkin pie event that John Morgan organized for us. Again, this looks like a lot of fun, okay? So scan the QR code or see John, he'll tell you how that's gonna work, should be a lot of fun. This is onboarding. If anyone that's new here, who's joined in the last month to the company? Anybody? Okay. This doesn't apply to any, okay? But if it did.
Right here.
Oh, there she is. Wendy, yeah, hey, okay.
You gotta be loud in this business.
Wendy will be on this 90-minute Zoom call with Jeff. It's called onboarding,
But
okay?
not in November,
November 5th.
but you guys will all be in Miami.
God damn. Wendy, you know, help me out here, Wendy.
Looks like it's Wendy.
Wendy might be doing the onboarding. Got a girl, dude, got a girl. I like that a lot. Yes, there's a really good chance Wendy's gonna be doing onboarding.
I've got a full calendar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Like I'm at the airport.
That's it, yeah, so, but there will be one that day, or not, okay? So stay
Maybe we
tuned.
just push it to the next.
Who thinks Wendy can do it?
I know I
See,
can. But you want me answering the phone?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I don't know how I can do it.
All right, anyway, that's the QR code for post. A lot of you are doing posts. I see it in the last minute. You know, last month, a lot of you were crazy at the last of the month, going nuts, getting this done. Please try to plan in advance. Okay, so who has it
Hey,
due
I'm
this
like-
month? In October?
Me?
Okay, yeah, that a girl. And this is post for you, right? Or is it CE? Is it post or CE?
Post.
Post, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I do not get in, like, I think next week they have the whole week at the LBR, so I was like, if I do not get in, then that means I am dedicating like 6 hours a day for 5 days a week, so that'll be 30 hours, and it's
No
gonna be
rush.
miserable, so
No
I'm
That's what
rush.
we
like,
all
okay.
do, so you're fine.
No rush. You only have 12 months to do it.
Yeah, I know. I work better under pressure.
We're all got the training down there, got the training down there. All right, gang, we know who our favorite home warranty company is today. Today. We're going to break breakfast. Where is he? Hey, come on. You're scaring me with the laptop now. You're scaring me.
I'm just gonna point something out. Now, first, you were talking earlier, good morning, about the new forms. And I don't know if you noticed that on line 28 through 32, it's the home warranty area, and it's misspelled. It says the buyer waives or rewires a home warranty. And so I'd love it if you rewired a home warranty. and wrote Old Republican. But yeah, it's a
Instead of
misspelling.
requires, it
It's
says rewires.
REUIRES.
So where is that? Where's the?
There's a box that should say requires a home warranty or waives it, so required is spelled wrong.
Good
But
catch.
you can fill in Old Republican.
There you go.
So, just a reminder on your new forms that just because it's spelled wrong doesn't mean that you shouldn't fill out the area and include a home warranty. So as we get ready, I'm sure all of you are slowly getting ready to do a business plan for 2026 and to ramp up your business and have a plan. I have these calendars at the back. It is a template on our website. So I go away, you can make your own. Things just shift up in this box down here would be for your information. It can be downloaded as a PDF and just emailed to your sphere of influence. You don't have to print it. Or if you want to print it, you can. We just supply the template. So make sure that you're just, doing maybe the little things that you didn't do last year or doing the same things that you did for consistency, because you can plant a seed, but tomorrow the tree doesn't grow. So you have to keep doing things to stay in front of people's faces. And this is a very inexpensive way to stay in front of people's faces. It doesn't have to cost anything. You just have to sign up for a toolbox. And the only thing when you sign up for a toolbox that you're gonna get in essence of extra emails, like we're not gonna spam you. You're gonna get an email after we receive payment from a buyer's home warranty plan that says congratulations on the purchase of your home. Thank you for using me and requesting for referral business. We send it to you so that it comes from you. You just remove our information and forward it on to your client. You get one at 11 months that says happy anniversary, and then just also asks for referral business. And then through that first year, if they have any closed claims, you're gonna get a notification of the criteria that we covered, the dollar amount that we spent, and it'll have a running total. And sometimes just a really great organic way to reason to pick up the phone and contact your clients. So that they know that things are happening in their home and you're just checking in on them. But it doesn't have to be intrusive, there's an actual reason for you to call. So I'm gonna leave these at the edge. The QR code here takes you to my digital business card, which has a link into the website to sign up for a toolbox. So to me, that's the best reason to do it, is just so you get those extra drips. I mean, you have to use them, but they're just there. You don't have to do much except forward it on. So take advantage of that and know that I'm here for any questions. And then I was just gonna, but now because it took so long and I have a really long password, when you create that toolbox, we have templates that you can fill in, but there's also a little box at the top that, so it says marketing tools, and then you have your templates. There's non-customizable tools, and it's got talking points for the reason for a home warranty on your listing presentation. It's got walkthrough checklists. It's got open house feedback. It's got open house registers. So there's a lot of things in there that you could just utilize if you're on the fly and you don't have the time, or you forgot, something in Canva, or, because Canva is really beautiful. Ours is just a handy little template. But it's something that you can quick print up if you have a toolbox and you save your login and password, so you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. So if you'd love for me to sit down with you and go over some of those things, see if I'm a good match for your business and see if I could be a good partner, let me know. That's my cell number right here. You can text me on it, and I'd love to set up an appointment and just go over some things and see if it's a good fit. So if you aren't working with someone that you like, trust, or have confidence in, I'd love the opportunity there in your business.
Hey, Stacia, real quick,
Yeah.
just remind them the importance on a listing appointment to talk about seller's coverage.
Yeah,
Please.
guys, seller's coverage is, okay, so you know how everybody says that nothing is for free, right? I mean, nothing's for free, but we have free seller's coverage. It covers plumbing, electrical, water heater, the built-in appliances in the kitchen, so your stove, microwave, dishwasher, garbage disposal, and then there's a $70 option for HVAC. And it's, as I will often say, it's like when you go to your favorite Mexican restaurant, you sit down, before you order anything, they give you free chips and salsa. We're like, the seller's coverage is the free chips and salsa.
Yeah.
It's not a full meal, not gonna replace everything in the house. It's not for the laundry list that you get back from the home inspector, because those are known existing conditions that you need to negotiate on. But if something fails during the listing, I mean, all day long, not all day long, but when I have seller's coverage, the biggest failure is dishwasher. People don't use it, they use it for storage, and then they list the home and it starts, they start running it and it seizes up. And if it's a normal wear and tear type of thing, that's covered, and we have a max on seller's coverage of $3,000. That'll replace most dishwashers, no issue. The limited HVAC is like guacamole, so guacamole's extra, it's at $70. But if something fails during the listing and it's not cooling, all our plans include the cost of refrigerant. So it could be a refrigerant issue, and we have up to $1,500 there that's gonna help get that back on track. It's gonna cover garage motors. These are little value-added things that you can offer your seller that doesn't have to bring them money up front. Now, there's still a trade call fee, so if they have an issue, they're gonna pay the $100 trade call fee for the microwave that stopped working, or the dishwasher usually. But it's $100 and they get it fixed, and you can streamline that closing so people aren't, one, you don't necessarily have to go back and negotiate, but it also isn't falling off track. It's not usually massive ticket items, but it still gives that idea, that peace of mind. And then we always hope that we get the whole enchilada at the end. But the good part about having the seller's coverage, if it didn't fail during the listing, or it did and we have a history, but it fails right after someone moves in, it's less likely for us to deny that claim because we have that little bit of history on it. So take advantage of it. It's not, it doesn't have to cost them something, and it might get you the listing that would otherwise maybe go to someone else because you're offering something that has an added value to it.
Station, everybody. John Morgan, I think he's at Mark's office now. Has anyone seen him this morning? Going around? No?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, he is at Mark's office.
He's at Mark's office?
There was
Rates are pretty good. I think they're 6 and an 8 today. 6.125. So that's, does everyone think if it goes to like 5.999, the floodgates are gonna open?
Maybe 8 points, or 5.75.
75, right? Okay. Because everyone says 5 point whatever. Buyers are gonna come to builders. We'll see. We'll see.
What were the rates this morning?
6.125. 6 and a quarter. I think they're posted every day on our Facebook page, right? Maria, does Suzanne post them every day? Because we get them every day from Epic. Every day. You'll get the rates from Epic, and they'll be on the Facebook page. Or John might be emailing it to you. If you want them every day from John, just give him your email address. He hits a button and it goes to everybody. So you have an idea what the rates are, okay? All right, before I get on to something more important, you guys know I love trivia, okay? What year did Google start? 1995 or 1998?
8.
I got an 8.
5.
5. How many say 5? So everybody else says 8?
Yeah.
Okay. The winner is 1998. Gmail. When did Gmail come out? 04 or 06? Who thinks it's 04?
04.
06? You don't really give a shit.
2004.
Here's what it is.
4.
Okay. 2004. What about Facebook?
2004.
Jason, I'd go with Jason. He's on a roll. I'm just saying. He says 04. Who else?
09.
You know.
2004.
Sure. I think it's 04.
No.
Yeah, it's 04.
04. Lame.
What about Instagram?
2010.
How come everyone knows that one? Right? It is 2010, right? LinkedIn?
8.
I got a 2. I got an 8 somewhere.
I'm gonna go with 8. 8.
Maria, what do you think?
8.
8. You're absolutely incorrect. YouTube.
2005.
2001.
2005.
5.
2001.
Wow.
And the granddaddy of them all.
85.
85.
It's still 90.
85.
85. It was quantum.
It was what?
I think it's
Quantum.
90.
Quantum.
That was the original.
I wanted to put this on here, but I couldn't find it.
Jason.
MySpace? Well, MySpace came out before Facebook.
I don't, yeah, anyone know MySpace?
Yeah, I
Google
remember
it real quick.
MySpace, it came out before Facebook.
The reason I put this, don't tell me I
2003.
told you, but Jeff Wallenfang still has a MySpace page.
That website is
If
still
it
up.
exists, you know, if you can get to it, but he swears he still has a MySpace page. But, AOL, what did we say?
85.
It is 85. There you go, so a little, worthless trivia to make your day here, okay? All right, kids, what else we got? John's not here, this is the red sheet, he sends out every day. So if you wanna get this, just email him, he'll gladly send it to everybody, okay? What do you think, Rock Title? We got some guest stuff to talk about? As always. Heather, everybody, come on, standing ovation.
Hi, everybody. Okay, a couple things. We have next week, did anyone sign up for my CE class? It's gonna be taught by Sarah Ocampo, attorney. It's a 3-hour law CE. If you didn't, sorry about your lock, it's sold out. But it's gonna be here next Wednesday from 12 to 3. It is again sold out, but if you wanna be on standby, if you live by, you can see if there's an opening, because we know not everyone shows up. So that's next Wednesday. Laura is back in our office here, so if you guys use Laura, she is back. We have our 10-year anniversary. You guys hear me talk about this every week. October 28th. We should next flyer right here. Please RSVP. That's going to be at our Rock Title office on Russell 215. We're going to have big little goodie bags for Ronald McDonald House, and then also have a little party after. So
I think
hope you
we
guys-
should all go and just trash the place. Let's just go there and mess up the hall, have a good time.
and then Tim's gonna stay after to clean it up.
Yeah.
And then last thing I'm gonna mention real quick. So you guys, a lot of you guys wanna use Rock Title, and we appreciate that. I help a lot of you guys out with marketing, and I'm happy to continue to do so, whether we end up with the escrow or not. But ultimately, I get paid by escrows, so my job is to get you guys to the closing table with Rock Title. So a couple things that can help. There's a lot of people that have been using us and they forget to do this. So just like a coupon, when you are advertising, this is kind of our coupon. So if you guys start a prelim with Rock Title, and if you don't have an escrow officer you're currently working with, I can match you with one. And in MLS, in the agent-to-agent remarks, you just put that title work started with Rock Title. There is specific verbiage that you need, and both sides get 30% off escrow fees. So it's a little extra, you know, it's not thousands of dollars, but it's a little something that helps give us a chance too. So it helps me keep my job, so we can keep our escrows with Rock Title. And also we have discounts too for the buyer side. So actually it would work on either side, but investors, seniors 55 and up, first time home buyers, etc. So reach out to me if you guys want more information. I'm happy to help you guys. Thank you.
Yay! The only thing I can say is, God bless Heather's patience for sitting down with some of you for the amount of time that she does. You know, it shouldn't take 3 hours to figure out a farm, you know, it should take a couple of minutes, okay? But she's really patient, so, do the right thing. What's the right thing? Yes, put Rock Title on the RPA, at least put it on the RPA. If it gets negotiated out, so be it, okay? But what I'm saying is that if she's helping you like crazy to increase your business, you can attempt to get Rock Title. That's all. Is there anything in it for me or Wendy? Not a damn thing. We don't get anything out of it, okay? But we like when it's in-house, because when you guys come running to me and Susie at Susie's title doesn't call you back, and you need to HUD by 2 o'clock, and Susie's not calling me back, you know, Laura's gonna call us back in 3 seconds, okay? If she doesn't, Heather's right down the hallway. Or we call up Tara. Tara's the president of the company. Me and Wendy can call Tara.
Or Brad.
And rat the escrow officer out if we wanted to. Not that we would do that, okay, because the escrow officers are great, okay? But just do the right thing, little, you know, it's called the law of reciprocity, you know? They're helping you, you help them, it's kind of the right thing to do. What do you think? Come on, there's always a
She's the best.
Okay, so just a couple of really quick ones. 1025 for the new RPA, please start using it. Now, we always complain about stuff. Well, guess what LVR did? For those of you that have templates in your transaction desk, they automatically took out the old and put in the new. So make sure if you don't have your templates set up, make sure you get them set up, because now they've got the system working correctly. So one goes out, the other one comes in, and you don't have to worry about that.
So
Okay?
later on today, 784-5000, call LBR and thank them for doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because that's a big deal.
But it is a big deal.
Yeah.
It really is.
You know, big deal.
Who doesn't have templates set up? Come on, don't lie, okay, you need to get them set up. If you're new, that's different, okay?
There is a
But
video.
you need templates, you really
That we
do.
made
Yeah.
on
Yes.
how to, in your transaction desk, how to set up templates, and what templates is, okay, I have a buyer, you just click on buyer, and all the templates that you need for all your documents pop up, and then you just fill them in, that's it.
It's like magic, right? It's like magic.
It's magic. So there's a video on how to set up your
Good
template.
question. So if I already pre-filled the old form, it's gonna be transfer over to the new form?
So like if you had
Already
info filled in.
pre-filled it.
You have to
Yeah,
check.
it's gonna
Double
be.
check, just click on your
Okay,
templates to be on
okay,
safe
okay.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they'll put in the new ones, but if you, I know in my class, I always tell you guys just to pre-fill those things out. The new one isn't gonna be pre-filled, okay, so you're gonna have to, go in there and put all the information, on there.
Just like on your RPA templates, you all have in there raw title, right?
Yeah.
Of course. That might not translate over.
Okay.
Okay, so on this one, please make sure that you can do referrals and your BBRA on this process. So don't send me referrals anymore. Okay, because you can do it on this one, and they'll go right to Tim, and they'll get, signed, okay? Lastly, how many of you have seen the new listing addendum? Nobody? Good, because you know what? There is no such thing as a listing addendum. So don't ask me for one, because you can't find it on transaction desk, okay? There is no such thing. If you make any changes to your listing agreement, it goes on where? Thank you. The MLS change order. So that getting close to the closing date, and all of a sudden, there's some hoopla going on, and you need to give some commission back, that goes on the MLS change order, mark it number 6, and put, seller is agreeing to put 2.5% to the listing agent, okay? If you didn't put on your listing agreement your transaction fee on page 2, and you're going to charge it at the end, you have to have a change order. Okay, mark it number 6.
Or fill out the notice of broker comp. That will
Which-
work also.
We don't
love
use
to
that.
fight.
No,
No.
okay. The MLS change order, mark it number 6.
I'm trying to make your lives easier, with all these forms, Well, my point is, and she's right, when in doubt, do a change order form, it can't hurt, but if you are like me, when I came here 6 years ago, I had a listing, I put 3% and left the other box blank. And I filled out the notice of broker comp, and on there I put my transaction fee, 200, 800, $1,000, okay? You can do that if you want. If you're uncomfortable telling your seller it's 3% of $1 million, Mr. Jones, plus there's a $1,400 fee on top of that. If you don't wanna have that conversation right there and then, you can have it later on with the notice of broker comp form that shows in writing what that is. That's how I used to like to do it, and I think it makes sense to do it that
I
way.
thought they took that from away.
They did not. Well, we brought it back. They tried to, Wendy.
Okay.
But I wouldn't let them. Okay?
Good.
They tried.
Good.
That form is a benefit to us.
That's,
Yes.
Because I have a client that a year ago bought a house and is still fighting with me saying he never knew about it.
yeah.
He signed it at my buyer presentation.
Mhm.
And then he signed it in the purchase agreement, and then he signed an estimated settlement statement, and still to this day is telling the title company and the lender that somehow we were all in collusion together
Correct.
to hide his transaction fee.
Yeah.
But I had 3 different places he signed it and agrees to it,
But
so.
when in doubt, take Maria's advice, change order form, solves everything.
So,
So
wait,
just make
we
sure-
are using the,
If you want to.
If you.
okay,
if
guys,
you
it's not
want to.
required,
No.
but, okay.
Right.
So on
But you
GBI,
still
you
have to have it in your listing.
Right. So it's the percentage and,
Yeah, 3%
The dollar.
plus $800 in page 2 of your listing agreement, okay? Okay, but during your presentation, you can definitely use the broker's, comp form. Okay, and then the last thing is the BBRAs. Any changes to the percentage going down, you don't need the addendum to the BBRA, but if you're going up, you do. And then on some of the new home builders are giving bonuses on some of the, standing inventory. If you get a bonus, make sure that you put it on the addendum to the BBRA. Lennar's giving me $1,500, closing bonus or whatever. Okay, so make sure it goes on the addendum to the BBRA. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, Maria.
Yeah.
On the MLS change order form, and I don't know if it's still on there, but at the bottom it said to email it or fax it to LGLDR. Don't do
No,
that
just
anymore.
put it in your file.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So, on the BBRA, we put 3%, and then it's negotiated, to 2.5%. But we don't need a change order to reduce that. How do you know that we're not what's gonna tell you that we've lowered it?
Oh, the
Commission
commission
instructions.
Okay, so the commission instructions come through, but then, what you guys need to understand is if you are going to go to the buyer for that, you need to give them your BBRA to show them that they are still paying that other 0.5%. Otherwise, the commission instructions are gonna come back at 2.5% because that's all the sellers agreeing, so. you
Yeah,
might lose
and if
that.
you're doing that situation, good point. If you're doing that situation, we need 2 commission instructions. One for 2.5% from the seller, and the second one for the 0.5% for the buyer. So they have to have 2 of them. Okay?
Crystal clear. We're here, everybody. All right, before we get to the things real quick, because I've been sitting here patiently, Mike, pick a number 1 to 16.
Okay, do I say it out loud?
Sure.
4.
4. The winner
Tammy
is.
Panos.
Who?
Tammy Panos.
Look at this. Oh, yeah. And again, this is the, just so you know, this is the long sleeve crew neck tee from the spring collection. Just came out today. Long sleeve. Okay. What else we got? We're good? Anything else I missing here? Oh, 2 things real quick. Everyone say hello to Brenda in the back. Brenda, you're gonna love this. But she's been here a short time and she's already closed 2 deals. That a girl. Very nice. And do we have Brittany's license yet? Right, Britt, we have it?
I
You
have
transferred it, right?
Yes, yes.
Everybody say hello to a new agent, Brittany. All right, Mikey, now last time you were here, you were talking about September 30th and the deadline for a lot of EV stuff and solar, so I don't know if that's gotten better or worse, but there's only one guy we have come in or gal come in for solar, and we all know who that is, so everybody, Mike Kelly.
All right, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I thought I was gonna get Mark's office today, so,
Sorry to disappoint you, man. Sorry about that.
No, it's good, it's good. Okay, tax credit's ending, right? Most companies, you have 14 days. So if you ever thought about solar, right, and the loan option / getting a tax credit for going solar, that will probably be automated options in 14 days. So if you're thinking about it, do it. Everybody understand that, right? Like, tax credit's going away, big beautiful bill. We went over that if you were in class before. Which will lead to, and I'm just giving you guys market updates here, or like our industry updates, which will lead to a lot of PPAs, because those PPAs will be valid for 2 more years. So 26 and 27, you'll see a lot more power purchase agreements on the market. Please remember, Las Vegas is one of 11 places that allows for PPAs. It has to be approved by the state. So when you think you have a lease, make sure you do. During class, I always say, if your seller or your buyer says, I have a lease, and it doesn't say lease 3 or 4 times on the front page, you don't have a lease, right? You probably have a PPA, okay? The other thing you guys should expect to run into in the next couple years is a lot more battery storage. A lot more battery storage. It's just the trend. It's just the trend of how solar works in markets. NV Energy, or the energy company, offers to store it for you. Then they change things like the demand charge they just announced, eventually taking that metering away as we know it currently, leading to, well, if you don't store it in your house on your own, they take it, you don't get as much benefit, right? That's just how solar trends, and all you have to do is look at California or Arizona or some of those other places to see that that's where it's going. So, love it or hate it, you're gonna have a lot more homes with batteries. I know that some builders are already just putting batteries in the homes. Any questions about that? Have you already seen it a little bit? Anybody? No, I think there's a community, a nice community, I don't know what it's called, but they're doing Tesla Powerwalls in the house.
Mike, do you know of any builders that they're building new homes and their old solar is part of the deal?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Is there some, anyone know of any?
Lennar pulled out of that game.
Right, but they were doing it, right?
Because they were doing it, and, who was the other one? Oh, Beezer.
So mandatory with Beezer, like out there tomorrow, buy a house, I have to have solar on it?
In certain communities.
Oh, that's what I'm getting at, oh,
Yeah,
so, okay.
Some batteries are installed and not hooked up.
yes, right. Yeah, I know. It's, a lot of the builders like to say this, we're solar ready, right? So Richmond is solar ready. Geez, we read it the other day. There's a bunch of builders who are solar ready, right? And keep in mind, you guys, solar ebbs and flows with what they do over at NV Energy, right? It has nothing to do with whether people like it or think it's cool or it looks good on the house. It has everything to do with what's happening over at NV Energy, right? And obviously politics up north.
So explain this one. My dad's in California. Maybe that's the problem, but he got solar.
Yep.
He's got battery in his garage. He loses power to his house. So he calls the installer, says, well, the batteries are not operational.
Okay. Lawsuit?
Yeah, right?
I mean, if I had a battery installed with my solar system, I'd expect it to work. I would want it to be able to turn on if the power went out.
Right.
Keep in mind, you guys, when you start bumping into batteries, these aren't doomsday tickets, right? This isn't the grid went out sort of ticket. Batteries are used for what's called peak shaving, right? So everybody, let's review real quick the demand charge that we're all going to experience come April 1st, 2026. Anybody get that email? Well, you all got the email. Okay, so they announced a demand charge. Anybody know what it is? Nope, not yet. Not until that bill goes up. Let me explain. Yeah, can I borrow a marker from you there, Tim?
Hey.
Borrow that marker. Perfect. The demand charge that was approved says this. Every day, we're gonna look at how much energy you use. We're not talking about solar people, we're talking about all people, okay? Every day, we're gonna look at how much energy you use. And each day, there will be a 15-minute window where you use the most, right? You use the most. So let's just say during this 15 minutes, right, 15 minutes, you use 12 kilowatts. It doesn't matter if you don't understand that right now, you're gonna start to understand it. Say you use 12 kilowatts. According to their chart, which they will come out with, there will be a charge associated with how much you used. So let's just say anybody who uses 12 kilowatts or more gets charged 18 cents. 18 cents for each one of those. So you go 12 times 18 cents. What is that? We're in the dollars. We're in the dollar range. Anybody know real quick? Buck something.
$2.16.
$2.16. So for that day, you're going to get charged an extra $2.16, and they're going to do this every single day on the highest 15-minute increment of that day. Does that make sense? So 12 is pretty low. That's more like a winter time, right? And gosh, I mean, if you have 2 EVs and you're running a spa and you got 4 children and you're playing electronics, that's gonna be real high for you. It's gonna be real high for you. So that could be $4, $5, something like that. $5 times 30 days service charge. Double that in the summer when your AC is blowing, right? So that's the demand charge that's coming for all of us, every single one of us. And the way they're gonna make us feel all good and cozy about it is they're gonna say, well, yeah, but we're gonna drop the rate. We're gonna drop the rate a little bit that you pay per kilowatt hours. Is all this, raise your hand if you're just right on the same page with me. Or are we currently math 2020? Yeah, okay. If it's over your head, it's okay, just, your bills are gonna go up.
Yeah.
Bills are gonna go up. Now, this doesn't save solar people. It doesn't save solar people. Because solar people produce energy, sure, but they still have 15 minutes every day where they use a lot of energy. So they'll get hit with the same exact charge as anybody else. But what do you think people are gonna do when summer rolls around and their bill is $200 higher than it was the year before? Where are they gonna run to? Us, right? Whether we're the fix or not, they're gonna think that solar will be the fix. So I'm just sharing information with you to prep you for this, okay? We'll go on to the services. What services do we offer? I've been here so many times, I know you, I've seen you, and so I wanna know, who knows the services that Solar Certified Pro offers?
Installation, warranty.
Installation warranties.
Installation, warranty, and then, switching over the,
Transfer
transfer
services.
services.
I have listing, I don't wanna deal with it, will you handle it, okay? Anybody
Couldn't
else?
do without it.
There's a really big one you're missing.
Maintenance.
Maintenance, cleaning, anything else?
And find out what
Inspections.
that is, what it would
Inspections, Tim, how many pie size do you have last month?
In his office,
Sure.
187, I think.
Last month?
Yeah.
187. Anybody have one of those? Any of them have solar?
Only the producers come to, don't come to the meetings here, these guys.
These guys are producers. Okay, buy sides that have solar, guys, I mean, right now, no big deal, but it will probably be on SRPD at some point. Inspection pool, inspection this, inspection that, inspection solar, right? We offer that currently. It's just to make sure you don't get a lemon before you move into the house, okay? We don't have licenses, what are they gonna do to us?
How much is the solar inspection?
It's $350. Yeah. But if they knew there was an inspection, they weren't offered the inspection, they get in the house and the system doesn't work, which happens more often than not, unfortunately, they're gonna ask you why you didn't let them know. I would.
I should know this, and my apologies, on the RPA, where it has all the inspections,
RPA, sorry.
is there a solar inspection box?
No, there's not.
No, right?
So we put in another,
All there.
it's gotta be.
Yeah. That's, we have to talk to LBR about that, we gotta throw that in there.
Maybe they'll listen to you guys.
And then,
They'll listen.
Maybe,
Go ahead.
Good.
I was gonna say, normally we put in additional terms, so we'll put something about like the transfer and everything like that. But then the buyer has the right to rescind based off of the inspection, based off of the information that was provided. Yes, you have your solar documents that kind of talk about the 10 days or whatever, but we also have a fail-safe in there saying if the transfer can't happen for any reason, doesn't matter at what point that is, contract's done that quick. That's what, anyways.
It's above me.
There you go. Sometimes it's gonna be too, so don't feel bad.
Cool. So yeah, the solar inspection, it will be helpful to your buyer, I promise. And then, aside from that, I've been doing some research. What buyer intakes, like, system do you use? I imagine individually, you probably all have your own. Maybe it's just a conversation, a piece of paper where you're writing down 2 stories, HOA, gated, right? Where you're figuring out what they want. Anybody use the software? No?
No, we usually write it down and then just make a search in MLS.
Follow-up boss, command, top producer.
CRM.
Oh, CRM.
Yeah.
I guess the
Oh, yeah.
CRM, because
Yes,
doesn't that
okay.
have what your buyer's looking for, you put it in there?
That CRM is where we hold our people and their information so we can market for them.
Okay,
But
I'm
yeah.
still learning about this,
Yeah,
so this is good.
so the MLS is where you go and set up a search so we can send them homes.
Gotcha.
So basically, we write it down on a piece of paper or a phone and then we input it into the MLS.
Okay, in your piece of paper that you use, that sophisticated piece of paper, I would highly recommend, and I do this in my classes, are you interested in solar, right? Why would you ask that question? Because you're working for your client. Because you're working, but by asking that question, what does it tell you about them?
Either they know or they don't know about it.
Sure, and if they say, yeah, I'm interested in solar, okay, maybe it'll help you find houses that have solar, but if you find a house that doesn't have solar, what does it tell you about that type of person? That they might be interested in it, right? And who's all watching the registrations, you guys? The registry. window people, right? Warranty people, all those, the flooring and the blinds and the carpets, everybody's watching that, and they blast our emails whenever we buy a new home. Who else is watching that? The solar people. So by you asking your buyers, hey, are you interested in solar, you're finding out if this is the type of person that's gonna answer the door to that door knocker and get taken advantage of by a bad contract with a bad escalation and all that stuff, right? You're finding that out. And by finding it out early, before they even close, you could suggest to talk to someone who could answer the questions and advise them, there's no home to put solar on yet anyways, so they can't sell you anything. It's just a great educational opportunity for them to be the type of person that's interested, but can get educated so they don't get taken advantage of. When the registry closes, they see that there's a new house. I remember when I bought my house, we're gated, it's not really, secure gate, but people would drive in and drive straight up to our house. Hey, we're the security alarm people. Like, they watch it and they specifically come to your house. So I encourage agents to do the buyer intake question of solar, just so you can protect your people, really, honestly. We'd love to be one of the sources you trust, but get a couple. All right, let's go over frequently asked questions real quick. Can you refinance a solar system? I'm gonna ask you because these are all your questions that you've asked me. Not through Goodly. The answer is no, you cannot refinance a solar system. Now, if you want to get like a personal loan or home improvement loan or something like that, sure, I imagine that you can pay it off, right? Unfortunately, at this point, do we have a lender in here? No. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't think that there are any mortgages that allow for existing solar loans to be rolled into the mortgage. No solar system yet. There's plenty of mortgages that allow you to pay for a new system, but no existing, okay? So no, there's not a refinance option for solar. Next question that I get asked a lot. Can they be taken off? We don't want them. What's the answer, guys?
No.
Maybe, if it's paid off. If there's a UCC, nope, contract has to be completed. Right? So it's not something that can just be taken off. Cool.
But if they don't want the solar energy any longer, they can cease that part of it and go back on the grid, go back to NV Energy?
If there's no contract,
Right.
right, and they just wanna take it off, go back to the grid, sure, yeah. Can they move it? That was the next question. Absolutely. It doesn't, in my experience, I don't think it's cost effective, personally. You're paying probably on average $250 per panel to have someone take it off, move it, and reinstall it somewhere. So, between 8 to 20 grand, depending on the size of the system. So it's just, it can be expensive. Yeah, but you can do it. You can do it. Okay.
Mike, is that the same cost if you're just gonna have, the roof redone? $250
Yeah.
panel?
Yeah, and that's another really good one. So the installation company that we work with is a roofer, which most installers that are still in business, most solar installers that are still in business, have diversified. Couple reasons for that is the roofs should have always been considered, during the solar process, a little bit better than they were. We all know that there are companies out there that threw solar panels on roofs that they shouldn't have thrown on, right? But when people call us and say deinstall, reinstall, can you take the panels off, we gotta get the roof fixed? I always say absolutely, but we have to be the roofer. Because the roof company puts on a new roof and we put on the panels, then there's a problem, it's he said, she said, right? So we have to be hands on the roof as well as the panels if you want us to do it. And most good companies should do that. Okay? A leak would lead to just a nightmare. Okay? So can they be moved? Yes, for a price. Can they be deinstalled for a roof repair? Yes, for a price, right? I suggest you go with a company that does both the deinstall and the roof repair. Somebody tell me what a target balance is. What's target balance?
Isn't that's the balance that they have to reach to get the discount?
To allow for the loan to be transferable.
Right.
Right? I have a listing.
Half the tax.
I have a listing. It's a loan. We're selling the house. Buyer wants to take it over and they're cool to assume the loan. But the bank says we can't assume this loan until the balance has been paid down to a target balance. Original amount, right? Original balance, target balance, what's the difference?
Tax credit?
Exactly, it's the tax credit. So the reason banks want it to be paid down is because the new homeowner doesn't get a tax credit, so they're protecting them by having the target balance met. We're all good there?
So I bought the house, I spent 40 grand on solar, I've been there a couple of years, and I listed. Am I telling my seller to call up the solar company to find out what the target balance is? Right? Typically, is that 50% of the purchase price, 80% of the
30.
purchase price? 30.
30, because that's what the tax credit was, 30%.
Okay, so I bought it for 40, 30% is 12 grand. It's
Yeah.
gotta be 28,000 or less, or 20,000 or more.
Yeah, so Tim's example is 40K,
Right.
what's 30% of that?
Right, 12 grand.
12 grand, okay, that would make it 28. 28K is what the balance has to be for that loan to be assumable.
Or
It's
less,
been-
of course.
Or less.
Or less.
Or less.
So in that case, then the seller would have to pay that down to the target balance in order to make the sale.
And this law came into effect December 21st, 2022. Contracts older than that, they won't make this required. But contracts 2022 and newer, they will require this.
Because think about it, it's like a mortgage, the first couple of years is all interest, right? So it might take a while to get to 28K.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a 2-year gig, it could be a while, right?
But if they were given a tax credit, they should have used that tax credit in order to pay that. But a lot of them don't. I had a
Poker machines.
Yeah, well, I
you
had
know,
a client that thought they paid their wedding and then went to go sell their house. I'm like, you guys, yeah, it just put them in such a position, but.
Yes.
So is the tax credit going away in 2 weeks? That won't be a concern in the future because there was no tax credit.
Correct.
Okay.
Won't be a future concern. Exactly. Okay, good. Everyone clear on the the target balance? I'm reading FAQs because these are the phone calls I get, and I'm never gonna get these phone calls from you guys again. Makes me happy. I don't get paid to answer these questions. This is where I answer these questions. Why would a house have 2 UCCs on solar? Most common reason.
They started one, liked it enough that they added more panels, or they noticed that they weren't getting enough to cover the overall power bill, so they started a second one to make up for the difference of what they were paying with NV Energy to kind of balance it out in some way.
Exactly. Who do you think is the most susceptible target age for that kind of thing?
Elderly.
Do you know who's pounding the pavement of Anthem right now? Right, the city of Anthem? Or if there's any more 55 plus communities up here? Malicious solar sales reps. You don't have enough panels, we should do more panels. Right, so that's a 2 UCC situation. Okay, now that'll lead straight to, let's protect people. Let's protect people. I will give you a story. We were doing exactly what you said. We got a listing. They wanted us to help with the transfer. We're helping with the transfer. It has 2 UCCs. We're having to figure out how to do it because one was a loan, one was a PPA. Right? The PPA side was super easy, no problem. The loan side, they were being a pain in the butt. And finally the buyer's like, will you go inspect the system? Sure, no problem. Drive out to the house, get there, and I'm like, are we sure it's the right house, right? Is this the address? Are we sure? She's like, why? I'm like, because there's one system here. There's only one system here. And I'm just like sitting there at the side of the house, and I'm looking at the ground, and there's like a bunch of nuts and bolts and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh. This company came and convinced this old lady to get rid of the one that's there, to put on a new one, and didn't think, but she'll still have a loan for the one that's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll still have a loan for the one that's gone for 11 grand. But she'll have a new PPA that she doesn't have to pay for because it's free, right? So that was a real situation. Now, I know that there are some homeowners we can't help. I get it. They're gonna make weird decisions or bad decisions. They do it all the time. But those that we can, we should. We should, right? So, again, the buyer intake form is one way to protect your people, right? As well as any services that we offer, we are here to help you guys. Q&A. Anybody have any questions, concerns, thoughts? For me now, don't call me later.
So the contracts that have an agreement with NV Energy, that they purchase back the solar to give a credit to the NV Energy account, is that going away with this?
No.
Okay, so they still get their credits according to the original solar contract, but they're just experiencing, well, we'll all be experiencing this coming up.
The demand charge.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Which is a preliminary change that if you look at other cities and energy companies, this is what they do. They introduce little changes here and there until we're taking it away.
So should our clients be looking at their solar contracts for an adjustment with what was negotiated with NV Energy for supposedly the lesser rate? Or are they still gonna be on the hook for whatever that
They're on the hook for
conversion is?
Yeah,
Fascinating.
they're on the hook for whatever contractual agreement they made. Whenever I teach these classes, these CE classes, I always show you guys good contracts versus bad contracts. PPAs are going to be very popular contracts, because people aren't gonna wanna buy it necessarily if we, the solar people, don't bring our commissions down, right? And we'll see if that'll happen. But PPAs are gonna be popular. How does a PPA work? Someone tell me.
If I understand.
Purchasing the power only.
There you go. So you're going from purchasing NV Energy's power, now you're going to purchase the solar panels' power. And that power you negotiated. You figured out the price you wanna pay for it. You figured out if it goes up or if it doesn't go up, right? You had negotiation ability. These people don't know how to negotiate. The contracts I'm seeing are worse than the contracts that they have with NV Energy. And if NV Energy just announced, everyone's getting a demand charge, and because of it, we're gonna drop our rates. Their rate doesn't change, their rate's what they contractually agreed to. So if we can get out in front of some of these buyers before they put solar on the house and say, you can get a better deal, you can lock it in, stuff like that, we can help them.
I lost it. What's the PPA again? Can you explain? What was it before? I don't have solar, so.
No, that's okay. That's
Very
okay.
abstract.
What do we buy from NV Energy, you guys?
Power purchasing it.
Right, just like we buy gas from gas stations. What's the unit that we buy? Kilowatt hours. Kilowatt hours. So right now, you buy kilowatt hours from NV Energy. Does anybody know what the rate is right now? That we pay per cube kilowatt hour?
42 cents.
14.5 cents. 42, we'd all have solar. I would be living on a yacht, okay?
Tree bed.
14.5 cents is what we pay to NV Energy. A PPA says we'll put solar on your roof, it will produce kilowatt hours, and you'll buy those for 12 cents, 10 cents, something like that, whatever you negotiate. That's how a PPA works. Does that help? So you don't own the equipment, you're not leasing the equipment, you're just buying the power that it produces. That's it. Okay? These are owned and maintained by large companies or large investment firms. So none have gone out of business like an installer goes out of business. Some have declared bankruptcy, but the assets on their balance sheet have been taken over and reassigned to a new company. So we haven't had a PPA company go completely out of business, ever. That in my experience.
That brings up a completely random thought.
Yes.
We once had a contract that the solar was paid off, but we could not get down to the original installer or the original, solar company, basically, because they were like bankrupt years and years and years ago, because a lot of them went bankrupt years and years and years ago. Is there like some sort of, conglomerate database that we should be reaching out to? Cause I mean, I was running down every leads with potentially making sure that the loan wasn't taken on by Good Leap or Loan Pal, and then Loan Pal was assumed by Good Leap, and you know, all this different stuff that happened. So is there a place for us to go when I'm sure other agents someday will run into that same situation?
Sure.
And we just basically had to have the buyer sign off saying that, you know, and it was an estate, so the original owner had passed away, so the documents are, you know, SOL at that point. So anyways, I was just wondering if you
Best
had
detective
a
work
source
you can
for
do.
that.
Yeah, best detective work you can do. If it's a loan, you don't know who they're paying. Well, I mean, maybe you look at their bank statements. I don't know if you can even do that, but if you can't, prelim, title, who has a financial interest on this house?
Yeah,
That's the
it
fastest
was
way.
paid off, yeah,
Okay.
and we pulled the prelim, all
There you
that
go.
different stuff, but,
So that's
So-
that's finance. As
Yeah.
far as who did the work,
Yeah.
you're gonna go to the city jurisdiction and
Yeah.
pull a permit.
we did, yeah.
And if it says owner builder, it wasn't done by a contractor, right? So if the permit that they pulled doesn't have a company's name attached to it, you can always look at what they assigned it as, and if it says owner builder, it means, hey, I got a buddy next door, you can do it. That's what they did, right? And they signed an owner builder agreeing that they take on the responsibility that this is not a licensed contractor who's doing the work. But yes, city permit jurisdiction is the fastest way to find out who did what.
Cause the company was there, but like I said, the company was so bankrupt so many years ago that
Oh, yeah.
there was
Yeah.
nothing left.
Which, that's 40% of our industry, by the way.
Yeah,
In the last year.
anyways, that's why I'm like, I know somebody else in this room will run into it one day,
Absolutely.
because it happens more often than not, than people think.
Jill, anybody?
I had a question. Are we close to any sort of federal regulation when it comes to solar?
Oh man, those checks are so big, heck no. That's the fastest answer I can give you.
Okay,
And that's all conspiracy, I don't wanna die tomorrow, so don't tell me
okay,
that I said
got
that.
you, got you.
Come on, you guys, we're talking about energy,
I did
right?
not.
Either the right's winning and
I
we're
am
using
not
gas,
suicidal.
or the left's winning and we're using renewable. That's not a surprise, that cannot be a surprise to you guys, right? Let's just see what happens, let's just see what happens in the next presidency.
Like flagpoles and rolled-on shutters in the past, are there any communities that we know of that restrict, you can't use solar, or is solar, you can use solar in any community you live in?
NRS 402, you cannot restrict solar.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right, any more?
I made that up, but it is in NRS.
Okay, I appreciate it.
So guys, it's super important, if you guys want to buy solar, or if you have clients that want solar, give them Mike's information, because he will do right for your clients. We trust him. I always just say, you know what, if you need an estimate or something, just here's the information. Now, whenever you go to take a listing, or you're gonna make well, not a listing, but say a buyer that wants to purchase a home, well, even a listing, okay, if you take a listing, you can have your sellers call him to do an inspection on it. They can pay for it, it's $350, right? And it has a report there, right? Correct? The sellers can do it?
Yeah, but we're not like, I've had sellers do this, and then they're like, I don't wanna give this to a buyer, I'm like, right. Our inspection isn't so that it looks good, our inspection is so that you know what's wrong with it, so you can fix it before you list it.
Yes.
So just be
because
careful on the sellers.
Because it's gonna come up, it's just like a home inspection, some of us have our sellers do home inspections before we list it. Find out what's wrong with it, get it fixed, because this is your time to get that stuff done. But most of the time, we're gonna use it for our buyers. Whenever you're gonna go write an offer, just like when you're filling out, guys, you're gonna get a home inspection, this one has solar, you're gonna get a solar inspection. Yeah, it's $350, you're gonna do it, and then I don't like to get involved in the transfer, so I say it's gonna be another $300, was it? For the transfer, and they'll handle all of that. Once we go under contract, we're, open escrow, we're gonna give them all the information, and then they're gonna work the transfer, because there's how many things to transfer? 3 panels,
Three
inverters,
ones, yeah.
and more, and maintenance agreement. So there's 3 things that, if the seller doesn't know how to do it, the buyer doesn't know how to do it, they're looking to you guys to try to transfer all this stuff, and what do we know about it? So now you're on the phone calling, just tell them, it's part of your purchase. You wanna buy a house, you need to have it fully inspected, and you should have somebody that knows how to transfer it, because if it records and the maintenance agreement wasn't transferred in the right amount of time, it can go away, and now they have no maintenance agreement on their solar panels. Super important to use him when you're doing any of your transactions. We just did it, and it was like smooth sailing, and I didn't have to worry about it. I'm like, nope, they've got it. Buyer called that, and they call the buyer, they call the seller, they do everything for you guys, so I can't stress it enough.
Yeah, and you can ask Susan Polshuski, we just finished her whole install and everything for her, so if it was a bad experience, she'll tell you. She'll tell you, if it was a good experience, hopefully she'll tell you that too.
So you recommend, I mean, I have a listing with solar.
Mhm.
Would I say, hey, to the buyer's agent, I would get, and it's fairly new with the solar.
That's up to the buyer.
It's up to the buyer,
Yeah.
but
You can let them
for
know.
the cost of the transfer and all that, can you get paid through escrow?
No, transfers can't.
It's like a
However,
bonus.
I'm gonna say this right up front, I get it, I get no liability stuff, you guys can handle PPAs. If you have a PPA, I promise you can handle the transfer. If it's a loan, sure, we're happy to do it, because you have to transfer the loan, then you gotta transfer the warranty on the panels, then you gotta transfer the warranty. Like, that's more work, we're happy to do it, but PPA is okay. So, first question is, hey, what kind of contract is it? And we're not gonna take your money just to take your money. Like, if you can do it, you can do it.
And a lot of escrow officers are helpful too.
Yeah, they
jump
are.
in, and they do these, 20 times a month, so they can help out with paperwork too. Okay? 2 things before you go, I'm gonna send this to everybody. I got this from Pat, who's me and Wendy's boss. This comes from our E&O carrier, Travelers Insurance. 3 pages of what we should not be doing, or what we should be doing to stay out of trouble, okay? What do you think the two major things that we get in trouble with the E&O? When do we get in trouble? For not doing what? For not
To inform,
disclosing, right, we're not disclosing something, or we over-exaggerate stuff, okay? And I'll throw this towards Wendy, because this is one of her pet peeves. If you're taking a listing, how many of you, when you go for the room measurements, pick the measurements from MLS? Come on, he's laughing. I used to do it all
Cause
the
it's
time.
ridiculous.
All the time, okay?
Buy
We've
a
had
tape
agent-
measure.
We've had agents do that, buyer moves in the house, they do their own little thing, and the measurements are wrong, and we get sued.
but what if you write an agent remarks, buyer's agent to verify measurements?
Yeah, not you the seller, it's the buyer's agent that gets in trouble. You're the buyer, you moved in, you measured the room that was supposed to be 10 by 10, and it's 11 by 6, or whatever it is, and the buyer's gonna sue you, and sue us, okay? Because you didn't do your due diligence, okay? You just assumed that Mikey from Mikey's Realty had the measurements right, okay?
But
So,
when you're taking a
little stuff
listing-
like that, so just be careful.
When you're taking a listing, you're responsible for all of that information you put into MLS. And you can't, if they find something and you go to, in front of a judge or whatever, and then they say, where did you get this information? Well, I copied it. That doesn't fly, guys. Your name is on that listing. Just do the work. If you wanna be a listing agent, there's work that goes along to it. You can't just copy and paste.
And these laser measuring things are $10 at Home Depot. Really, and you're in that in 5 minutes, And I know you guys were all dying to find out the answer to this. Someone was nice enough to text me the answer to this. MySpace. What year?
2003.
99.
99.
2003.
99.
It's unanimous?
99.
I don't have one person for 2003? Going once.
2003.
2003. The winner is 2003. And who bought MySpace? Another trivia. Who bought MySpace? Facebook. They buy everything, so I thought this was wrong too. I would've went here, I would've went like here. I thought this thing was ancient, for God's sake. 2002 came out a year before, Gmail or Facebook. Who knew? Gotcha. All right, kids, that's all I got. Anybody else have a listing that you want to tell us about, or $1 million buyer with $1 million in the bank? Tell us about a house? No? All right, kids, move on. Thank you. Mikey, good job, as always.
Okay,